Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 laps and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. We hope you're having a great evening. Ben McKee of Go Vols 247, Jason Swain here with you. The Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is Thursday. It's the best day of the week. Y'all know the drill. October the 6th, 2022. Great day to have a great day. My man Ben McKee. My guy, Ben McKee, already rocking the Grizzlies sweatshirt. You done with the Steelers, huh? You just done.
Yeah. It's going to be a long season for my Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm excited to see Kenny Pickett and see if he can give any hope and promise for the future, but it's going to be a long season for my Steelers, and I'm afraid that Mike Tomlin might look up at the end of the season and have his first losing season as a head coach.
No, we don't want to see that, man. We do not want to see that at all. But ain't nothing wrong with getting ready for the Grizzlies, though.
I'm ready for some Grizzlies basketball. I'm never not ready for some Grizzlies, especially now that we've got Ja Morant and one of the better teams in the NBA. Should be a fun year. And honestly, based off how the 2 preseason games have gone, I think we might as well cancel the season and go ahead and give the Grizzlies the trophy.
I don't know about all that. I want to see Ja Morant. Must see TV. Yeah, it is basketball season, folks. Oh my gosh, it's basketball season.
It's multi-sport season, and I've shared this before. This time of year is absolutely one of my favorites, when the NFL is in full swing, college football is in full swing, and not that you care as much about this as I do, but postseason baseball starts tomorrow, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 back-to-back playoff baseball games all weekend long the next 3 days, on top of college football, on top of the NFL. Ja Morant's about to start dunking on folks. This is my favorite time of the year. The fall, the weather's changing, and it definitely feels good this year, Swain, with the way that Tennessee football's playing some football.
Dang, man, you just think I'm not going to look at postseason baseball? I mean, I like postseason. I like postseason, man. You don't have any confidence and faith in me?
I know that you enjoy sports at its best, and a sport when it's the climax of their season. So I'm sure you will have an awareness of it, but I know that you also won't be locked in like I will the next 3 days, especially on Saturday and Sunday.
Man, I mean,
we got some fun matchups though.
Yeah,
Mets, Padres.
Yeah.
Toronto, Seattle. That's a matchup right there that has a bunch of young phenoms playing. Tampa Bay, Cleveland. Sneaky good.
What about the Phillies and the Cardinals, man? The machine.
I'm excited to see the Cardinals play. It'd be pretty cool to see Albert Pujols and Yachty do something this postseason and go out on a high note.
Yada 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 yada.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, man. I keep up with all the latest hip hop music. I want to know what people who are listening, who are ready for the Tennessee LSU game, like, what's their facial expression right now?
Oh, I that's why I tried to go ahead and transition to the football.
Here it is.
That's why I tried to throw you the softball of Tennessee football. It sure is exciting right now, which makes this time of year even better because I already know what the facial expressions are.
Here, you do your best facial impression of the people who want to just hear about Tennessee football and LSU, and I'm gonna do mine too. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. That's what they doing right now. Like, come on, man. Y'all know why we here.
They're putting us on for what?
Well, let's get to it. Tennessee, 8th team in the country. Hendon Hooker with the 3rd best Heisman odds right now. I was watching ESPN a little bit earlier. LSU is the underdog. When was the last time that LSU's been the underdog at home versus Tennessee? But here we are. What did the Volunteers fix during the bye week? What did LSU fix in a short week coming off the Auburn win where they came back from 17 points to win in the second half? Defense clamped things down in the second half. First half, they let a third-string quarterback have a field day. But the second half, yeah, they clamped the things down, Ben. So it's a new challenge. I think it's going to be a big challenge for this football team. I don't know if LSU is better than Florida or Florida's better than LSU. I think Florida presented some challenges for sure for Tennessee. I think if Florida and LSU play today, I'm going to give Florida the edge just because of Anthony Richardson. But it's a new challenge, man, and that's all that matters. You gotta go get it done.
It is, and as we briefly spoke about last week, I kind of feel like this matchup is very similar to the Florida one. I do think LSU's receivers have more talent, but man, the passing game really hasn't clicked the way that it should this season. And please don't be mistaken just by looking at what Jaden Daniels did throwing the football against Auburn last week, which was ugly. Don't get me wrong. You threw for 80 yards on 8 of 20 passing against an Auburn defense that is man. But it also wasn't all Jaden Daniels. The receivers, they caught 4 balls for 32 yards on 13 targets. And there were some throws that were on Jaden Daniels, but there were also some passes dropped as well. But I would encourage folks not to get caught up on just that particular game because Daniels has been pretty solid throwing the football. I don't think he's a great passer, but he's not bad is more so my point. And you go look at the other games, and he's thrown the football pretty well. He did against Florida State in the opener, against Southern, and I know it's Southern, but 10 of 11, 3 touchdowns, 197 yards, I believe it was, and threw for over 200 against Mississippi State and New Mexico State as well. So he's a guy that can throw the football. Again, not a great passer, but he can throw the football and can certainly throw the football against secondaries that leave guys wide open running through the secondary, which was an issue for Tennessee against Florida. And I'm a little nervous about him. And honestly, I will be kind of going into every game, I think, or most of the games, just because I don't have a ton of confidence in half of the defense. I like where the front seven is, Swain, but second and third level makes me really nervous. And I think Jaden Daniels is more than capable of beating Tennessee with both his legs and his arm if Tennessee doesn't show up ready to play.
He's capable. I mean, he's a good player. The confidence for him hasn't been there for whatever reason. Maybe it's because it's his first year in this system, and he's not comfortable believing what he sees. Maybe it's the fact that he hasn't had a lot of time with these receivers. And if you're going to throw in windows, if you're going to throw the timing routes and anticipation throws, like, you got to have time together to build that chemistry. Hendon and Tillman, they have that. You saw that in the Pittsburgh game. Hendon was just letting it fly, letting it rip because he trusts Tillman. But for Jaden Daniels, for some reason, he doesn't trust all the receivers. I mean, Neighbors is the most targeted receiver right now for LSU, but Neighbors ain't a projected first-round pick like Keyshawn Butte. And, Brian Kelly earlier this week talked about wanting to push the ball down the field. He was hot on the sideline at Auburn on multiple occasions at both quarterbacks for not pushing the ball down the field when the play was designed to do so. So you better bet your butt, Ben McKee. You better bet your butt that LSU is going to push the ball down the field or attempt to push the ball down the field. D. Williams is in the lineup. what does that mean? How much of an impact he's going to have? I don't know. But he's healthy, and Warren Burrell's not healthy. So it's an opportunity for D. Williams to go out there and make some plays. Kamal Hadden, it's an opportunity to have a bounce-back game for sure. We know he has nice ball skills. We know he comes up. He's physical in the running game. But I think Kamal Hadden has to have his best game of the year, Ben. I think our secondary got to step on up and get ready because LSU got some big old backs. And you better make sure your shoulders are loose because you got to have to bring it in the running game and make sure that LSU is not able to run the ball. But Jaden Daniels, back to him, he's been banged up in multiple games this year, Ben, where he didn't finish. He's no Anthony Richardson when it comes to punishing at the end of the run. Like, he didn't fall backwards much against Tennessee 2 weeks ago. Did he get stopped some? Absolutely. The fourth down, he got stopped, didn't fall forward in terms of running people over, but I didn't see him take a real shot. Jaden Daniels, he built different. He's not as big as Richardson. So how long can he take contact during the course of the football game? We saw this defense be able to get to Pittsburgh's quarterbacks and have them either out or limping and wobbling and stumbling and bumbling all over themselves. Couldn't finish the game. Can Tennessee get to Jaden Daniels and be able to affect him?
Yeah, that's a huge question mark, and I think that's going to determine whether it's a shootout or not. I think Tennessee's going to be able to put up some points. Not that I necessarily think that LSU's defense is bad per se. I just have that much confidence in Hendon Hooker right now. There's not a more efficient quarterback in the entire country than Hendon Hooker right now. I mean, it's really that simple. And I expect for him to play well and the offense to play well. So the question is all on the defensive side for the most part for me. You talked about it. I think the secondary has to have a big game. You asked the question, what did Tennessee fix over the bye week? Hopefully they found some type of solution within the secondary. I do believe that it's more of a it is what it is type of situation, and one that recruiting can only fix. Again, as we mentioned last week, there's a reason that 6 defensive backs are currently committed. I think that tells you all you need to know about what the coaches think about the personnel on the roster. But who knows? Maybe you could find something over the course of the bye week, like a D. Williams. I don't have an expectation that he's just going to play great football after coming off an injury and this being his first SEC action. But it is like a trade deadline acquisition, and you take that if you're Tennessee with how the secondary has played for the most part up until this point in the season. But what about other guys? Is Brandon Turnage going to find some confidence and play more consistently? Can Wesley Walker, who started the season off by playing a good amount of football but hasn't really played a ton lately, can he play more? Andre Turrentine, where's he at in his development at the safety position? And there's others as well. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Kamal Hadden, and I'd throw Tamarion McDonald in there. I didn't think T-Mac played all that well against Florida compared to at least to where my expectations are for him. Those two guys have to play well pretty much every game because of what the rest of the secondary looks like. But as big of a concern as that is for me, Swain, I do have confidence. I don't know how much confidence, but I am confident in the other half of the defense. You mentioned their 3 backs, and Tennessee's done pretty well bottling up the run, the traditional running game so far this season outside of the long run that Pitt had. And I like Tennessee's matchup in the trenches against this LSU offensive line. They've got 2 freshmen starting at left tackle and right tackle, and they're very talented freshmen. They may not play long at LSU before they're off to the NFL. It kind of reminds me of the Wanye Morris and Darnell Wright situation when they were freshmen. They were 5 stars. They had talent, but they had to go through their growing pains, and it seems like that could be a case this game. And they're also banged up a little bit on the interior. Garrett Dellinger, he broke his hand, had surgery, missed the Auburn game. Yeah. He's going to be playing in a cast. Mm-hmm. And I really like where the interior linemen are at for Tennessee right now. Amari Thomas, DeJoun Terry, Karat Garland. Amari Thomas is playing big boy football, but even for the rest of them, it's kind of a committee approach, and I like that. So I feel good about Tennessee being able to bottle up the run and put pressure on Jaden Daniels throwing the football. And all it takes is one hit. I mean, he couldn't have finished the game last week, and he's as skinny as it gets for a running quarterback. So I certainly think that could play a factor as well.
865-250-503 is the telephone number to the Swain Event hotline. Let's get to the phones. Give us your name and where you call it from, and let's rock. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, guys. It's Turkey Man.
What's up, Turkey Man?
Hey, I'm going to be short and sweet tonight. Hey, I wanted to know, you guys to rate the West. If Alabama doesn't win the West, who do you see winning the West, and how would you place the West? 1, 2, 3. If you don't care.
Yeah. Got you, Turkey Man. Appreciate you.
I'll get out of here.
All right, Turkey Man. Number 1 is Alabama. Number 2 is Ole Miss right now for me. Number 3, we saying Mississippi State.
Ooh, that's a tough question. I think I would go Ole Miss and Arkansas before I went Mississippi State. I know Arkansas is on a 2-game skid. One of those losses is to Alabama, in which it nearly fought back and won. I guess the answer will be proven this weekend, because doesn't Arkansas and Mississippi State play? And I don't like that matchup for Arkansas. Their secondary is not good, and obviously Mississippi State has the air raid. Their only hope of slowing that one down is that if they can get pressure on Will Rogers. But I think I like Arkansas and Ole Miss a little bit better than I like Mississippi State. But I do like Mississippi State. Don't get me wrong. I think they're a pretty solid club. I just like the other two a little bit better right now.
Well, I mean, LSU beat Mississippi State, so I would go LSU 3 right now. I would go Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU, and then, I mean, I can't put Arkansas over Mississippi State. I mean, I just can't do it, man. What Arkansas has done the last 2 weeks, I can't put him out there. I like Pittman, but I don't like him that much.
Yeah, I don't fault anybody for putting those other teams above Arkansas. Unfortunately, we've reached the point of Alabama and Georgia. If a team loses to them, we don't really judge the losing team too much, because it's Alabama and Georgia they're losing to. But I do think the A&M game was maybe a little bit fluky, just kind of like State losing to LSU. State and Arkansas in those losses were very aggressive on multiple 4th downs, and it kind of bit them in the bud. And then you had some ugly turnovers. KJ Jefferson had the one in which he was reaching across the goal line, and A&M returned it for a touchdown right before the half. And then State muffed a punt that gave LSU the ball in the red zone, and LSU was able to capitalize. So I kind of feel like that was a little bit of a fluky loss as well.
Well, Auburn, I think we could agree, is last.
Yes, I think we can agree that A&M is 6th.
Yeah, second to last. But yeah, I'm gonna go LSU 3 right now, Mississippi State 4, and I'm gonna put Arkansas 3rd to last.
I'd be surprised if Alabama doesn't win the West. I know we can all agree on that one.
Yeah, I think we can. Hey, today on Josh and Swain, Dave Bartu said that Alabama's won, and Georgia and Tennessee right there neck and neck. Oh! 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 I don't know about that one, Dave. It made me feel good, though. Made me feel great. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, Ben McKee, Go Vols 247, Jason Swain. Here, don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. Be right back.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Guys, if you notice a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. you know you need to stop playing around and schedule your complete health assessment at Low T Center. They now offer the convenience of monitored, self-inject, at-home testosterone treatments for just $155 a month, cash pay, or covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near a Low T Center, or you just want the convenience of at-home treatment, all good. Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatment. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey there, Swain Event fam. Happy to be back with you on the weekly show, and although our Swain Event schedule has changed, I'm still here on a daily basis to help you with your real estate needs. So if you are still looking for your forever home, give me a call. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Got them short breaks up in here. Got them short breaks. Shout out to Ben McKee. Go Vols 247. Man, I don't even know what you look like, Ben, until I get a reminder on Thursdays.
I forget, thankfully, what you look like until Thursday as well.
Ooh.
It's all right. I'll throw myself under the bus a little bit because I thought that this was funny. But I did an LSU podcast on Monday with 2 former LSU baseball players, which was pretty cool. Mikey Matuk, who was I want to say he was a first-round pick. Maybe I'm way off on that, but it feels correct. Back in the day. And then the other one was Jared Mitchell. Was fun fact, he won a championship in football and baseball at LSU. And then I was bat boying in high school for the Huntsville Stars when he was playing for the Birmingham Barons. So I didn't tell him that and make him feel old, but I thought that was pretty unique. But I'll throw myself under the bus. Guess what some crazy Cajun said about me on in the comment section?
That you like Steph Curry?
Worse.
What'd they say?
They said that I look like a fat Kane Brown or a chubby Kane Brown. They said I look like a chubby Kane Brown. Kane Brown is a light-skinned country singer. You'll have to Google. They said I look like a chubby Kane Brown. Yes. K is in Kane. Kane. Said I look like chubby Kane Brown, which I was rolling. They got me good on that one. I will admit. Now, granted, they didn't do me any favors on the angle that they sent me to use, but I was rolling. And I appreciate it. I hit the gym hard the last 2 days because of that comment, so it gave me some nice motivation.
Oh yeah, man. Did you let them know that Tennessee's gonna whoop that ass?
I alluded to it, and they were not fans.
But I mean, they 2 former football players. I ain't watching their team the first 4 games. They really think that LSU's gonna win, or the better team going into this game, or they shocked that you would pick Tennessee to win? Like if they play ball,
no, they weren't.
Yeah,
no, they weren't. They weren't. And I was listening to them a little bit before I joined them, and it seems like the LSU faithful very concerned by the passing game. Because of what they saw against Auburn, and rightfully so. That was a horrific performance, throwing the football by Jane Daniels and those receivers. Yeah. That was their big concern. So, and then they brought up the fact that Tennessee secondary isn't that good, and that if Jane Daniels can't throw against Tennessee, then that tells you all you need to know about Jane Daniels.
Yep. Good luck trying to, outduel Tennessee's offense. Like Tennessee's gonna give up points and yards, but it's about your ability, LSU's offense, to be able to outduel Tennessee's offense, and I don't see that happening.
They were enamored with Hendon Hooker as well. I think they're expecting a loss, but I also feel like they're pretty confident that they can win as well. I think that they think that Tennessee's the better team, but it's not an unwinnable game as if Tennessee's number 8 ranking in the country would indicate.
For sure. 865-250-503. Good eve. Never mind. Again, 865-250-503. Give us a call. We'll get you right on in. I was going straight to the phones, and whoever was on hung up. But moving forward, let me check out the text box. Hey, PD13 says, I'm so glad to catch a live. Other than the secondary, what do you think will be the biggest area of concern against LSU? Let's go to the phones and I'll answer that. All right. Good evening.
Hey.
Hey, here we go.
Hey, it's GTA Vol.
What's going on?
Hey, not much. Hey, Ben, people that matter don't mind, and people that mind don't matter.
That's right.
Tell them,
Yeah.
GTA.
So, how do y'all feel about this game?
I feel good. I feel good. I mean, brunch is going to be great on Saturday for me. I plan on having a relaxed brunch, chilling on out, watching Tennessee, get a dub. That's my expectation.
How you feeling, Ben?
I feel the same. I feel good. Jaden Daniels and his legs worry me. Tennessee secondary worries me, but I like the other matchups in this game, and I think Tennessee's the better team. I think they're going to have the best football player on the field in Hendon Hooker, and I ultimately think he's going to be the difference in the game.
Sir.
I totally agree. I think that Hooker's going to be the difference.
Yep.
We might finally have a Heisman winner, folks.
Hey,
maybe.
we gonna have somebody. I think that will go to New York at least. I was thinking about this earlier, GTA, when I was watching ESPN and they were showing the Heisman odds, and Hendon was one of three with the best odds there, and only one person wins GTA. So there's a lot of factors, stats and record and all that stuff, and for CJ Stroud, I think he has the easiest path to be a Heisman Trophy winner because the schedule, the weapons around him, and they're going to throw it. He's going to get those yards. I think he has more passing yards right now than Hendon, but the fact that Hendon can just get to New York, I think that would be a huge accomplishment. Of course, we want him to win it, but only one person is going to win this thing.
Well, I mean, we've not had good luck in the past for obvious reasons, whatever they decided to do, going all the way back to whenever. But, yeah. But I think he has a good chance of going.
Yeah. He deserves it. I want to see him do it.
He absolutely deserves it, and we'll be proud no matter what happens, but hopefully he will win it and finally bring it home.
That's right.
Yeah. Go Vols.
That's right. That's what I like to hear. GTA Vol. Good to hear from you. 865-255-03. What do you think will be the biggest area of concern against LSU? It's here on the text box. Oh, it's on your Swain Event app.
Other than the secondary.
Special teams.
Really?
Yeah. Ben?
Well, are you saying that because you've seen something that you haven't felt good about to this point?
Oh yeah, let me share it with you.
Please do.
A block damn punt, a drop damn punt, and a
yes.
and an onside kick recovery that looked easy like it was Pee-wee.
You're right.
Okay,
you're right. My thought process initially went to Chase McGrath and Paxton Brooks, who have been pretty good, individually speaking, to this point. But yes, all the other areas that you just mentioned is definitely a concern and surprising as well because of Mike Eckler's reputation as a special teams coordinator. I've been a little surprised of. Yes, there's been big plays during his tenure, but also there's been punt blocks and onside kick recoveries and all those ugly things that we do not like. I do wonder, could they throw D. Williams back there at punt return and kick return? He was a great returner in junior college, was really dynamic with the football in his hands, but how much do you want to put on his plate in his first game this season after coming off of injury? And like I said earlier, not only is he coming off of injury for the first time this year, but this is his first SEC game. It's not like he's proven himself at this level in the past.
I mean, Trayvon Flower only dropped one punt, so he's even though Florida only punted one time, and I don't even think he caught it, but the fact that it happened once that's where LSU, if LSU's going to win, it's going to be because they win special teams. Because I just don't see LSU being able to put up points with just their offense and beat Tennessee. It's going to have to come somewhere in special teams, a score, a return, or block punt to set up an easy short field score for the LSU offense. I just don't see how LSU will be able to go blow for blow offensively with Tennessee. I like Jimmy Holiday as a kick returner. I think he does a really good job. I mean, it's not like he's missing holes. And I like guys who are used to handling the ball. Like someone that's been out for the season, he plays defense. He hasn't taken a hit yet, hasn't delivered a hit, hasn't taken a hit. I don't know if I feel comfortable with him being a kickoff return guy right now because they hit you hard. Like it ain't like punt where, yeah, you can get hit hard, but you make two guys miss. Like you're running in one direction, everybody else running in the opposite. But kickoff return, man, some of them hard hits come on kickoff return. So I tend to lean towards guys who are used to handling the ball. That's kind of like I don't want my center on the perimeter dribbling the ball and running the break. I like point guards and guards handling the ball. That's kind of how I look at it. So let's go back to the text box. Can't wait to head down to LSU Saturday morning. Let's go Vols. Tell them we coming, and we're bringing hell with us. Let's take the fight to them Tigers for 60 minutes. GBO. That's Wade from Mississippi. 44 Vols says just my gut, but I think Brew McCoy will have a coming out party Saturday. Vols by 50. Man, if Brew is going to have a coming out party Saturday, what did he do 2 Saturdays ago? What was that?
that was dipping the feet in the water to get the temperature of the pool.
I thought that was a coming out party.
I did too. I mean, I guess they weren't gaudy numbers. He played really, really well if you're a Tennessee fan, and you certainly noticed. Off the top of my head, it was 5 catches, a $120 and a touchdown, which is really, really good. Like, don't get me wrong, but maybe the comment is more so like Brew's about to have 10 catches or 200 yards or 2 or 3 touchdowns, like breakout nationally. Because I don't really feel like people are talking about him nationally. Tennessee fans are, but maybe he means breakout on a more national stage in terms of people talking about him.
Brew had 5 catches, 102 yards, a touchdown, averaged 20 yards per catch, had a long run of 70 yards. The touchdown catch was a great catch at the goal line on a shallow cross where he had to catch the ball below his waist. That was the coming out party. When he had never did, like he didn't do that at Texas, he didn't do that at USC, he hadn't played football in forever. That was his coming out party. And it was against Florida, CBS. That was his coming out party. Now, he might have better stats this week, but when you come out in terms of football, it's when you haven't done something for a certain amount of time, and then, boom, you come out and do that. That was his coming out party, in my opinion.
He did play well against Pitt, too.
He ain't had no down 100 yards and 20 yards per catch either.
He had a tutty.
He did have a tutty. He did have that. But he ain't had 5 catches, 100 yards. He didn't go over that century mark.
Well, that's because Cedric Tillman was a ball hog that game.
He was just hogging what Hooker was letting him hog. That's all he was doing. That is all he was doing. Yeah, I mean, he had 4 catches, 58 yards, a touchdown against Pitt on the road. Brew McCoy against Florida at home, 100,000 people, CBS, had 100 yards, 5 catches, a touchdown. That was his coming out.
He was awesome.
Yeah, that was his coming out party. And like the other 4 catches, besides the long catch, were more impressive than the long catch because he was wide open. Like, yeah, he was catching and run. But some of the catches where he made guys miss and stiff-arm guys to pick up extra yardage, and then the touchdown catch, that's not the easiest catch to make. It wasn't eye level. He had to, drop his body level down and go get it and keep his eyes on the football. So, man, sometimes when you're not catching the ball with your hands, you can lose it and drop it. So that was a coming out party, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
I am curious to see that matchup, Tennessee's receivers versus LSU's secondary, and I'm intrigued more so from the LSU side of things. Their secondary, which is made up of a bunch of transfers, very odd. Both of their safeties transferred from Arkansas, but they played pretty well the first 4 games, and they helped shut down the air raid of Mississippi State in one of those 4 games. And then last week, they let Robbie Ashford in a terrible Auburn offense just go bombs over Baghdad on them. Robbie Ashford throwing 270 yards. Nice athlete, Robbie Ashford, but not a great passer or quarterback. And from some of the highlights I saw, guys were running open, and I don't care if guys are running open or not. Robbie Ashford should not have 270 passing yards against any SEC team. That Auburn offense is boo-boo. So curious to see which LSU secondary shows up, the one that played against Auburn or the one that played the first 4 games. So obviously the bigger sample size is the first 4 games, but we'll see.
We can say that about LSU's defense in the first half, but if we're going to say that, we got to give them credit for adjusting and shutting things down in the second half.
Yeah, that is for sure. I was going to make this point earlier. It leads to a bigger question mark for me. Like, what is LSU? Are they a good team or are they not? They looked awful against Florida State, and I know Florida State's 4-0, 5-0 right now. They've gone on to win a couple of ball games here. Mike Norvell has, but LSU looked awful in that game. They beat what I think is a good Mississippi State team, but as I mentioned earlier, I also think that was more about Mississippi State than LSU, because State and Mike Leach wanted to go for several 4th downs, were very aggressive, and they failed to get practically all of those 4th downs. And then they also muffed the punt deep in their own territory that gave LSU the ball and essentially the ball game. So I thought that was more about Mississippi State. And then it took a comeback to beat a terrible Auburn team that has all the dysfunction in the world in it. So I'm curious to see what this LSU team is really made of.
LSU is a team that they're scrappers, man. Like, they're like that boxer that they're not like Floyd Mayweather, where they truly like boxing. It's beautiful and you can't hit them. Nor are they Mike Tyson, where it's like one hit a quitter. They just scrap you for 12 rounds, and they ain't knocking you out, but they're winning each round. And then at the end of the fight, they get the unanimous decision. Like, that's what LSU has been to me. They haven't looked good, but you haven't been able to knock them out. Auburn wasn't able to knock them out. Mississippi State was probably the favorite going into that game, and LSU just found a way to win. And if Tennessee does not play clean, and if Tennessee don't handle business, then LSU could beat Tennessee. Absolutely. I could see it happening, but it would take for Tennessee to play the worst game of the season or similar to how they played against Pittsburgh. If they play like we played against Pittsburgh, LSU may win. But hopefully
I think
that was a lesson.
I think it's as specific to further your point. I think if the offense plays like it did against Pittsburgh, then Tennessee's going to be walking out of there with an L. Not that I necessarily think that LSU is some great football team, but they have the pieces to beat you. They do. They still have a ton of talent on both sides of the ball. The passing game has not looked good, but Daniels is capable of beating you, and they have receivers that have talent and guys that are going to play in the league. They have tight ends that are talented. They have running backs that are talented. O-line hasn't played great. They've given up the second most sacks, and part of that is on Daniels. You talked about it earlier. Brian Kelly saying on Monday that he's got to be more aggressive and push the ball down the field more. So that isn't totally on the offensive line, but still second most sacks allowed in the SEC, 16 of them. They gave up 3 last week, 8 tackles for a loss they allowed against Auburn. But they still have talent. So I think it's really as specific as if the offense doesn't show up, then Tennessee is not going to get blown out or anything, but Tennessee could definitely walk out with a loss. Because I again, outside of the front seven, I just kind of think the secondary is what it is, and for the most part is going to keep teams in games this season.
Now, I don't think Tennessee will play like they played against Pittsburgh. The reason why is because you got more receivers that are involved. You know, Brew is more comfortable in the offense. Jalen Hyatt is a valuable piece, and Hendon trusts him. And then how about Ramel Keaton? So, like, Pittsburgh, it was all about, throw it to Tillman, throw it to Tillman, throw it to Tillman, throw it to Tillman. And sometimes it worked, and sometimes it didn't. Other guys open, 18 targets. Notice how more evenly distributed the receptions were versus Florida when there was no Tillman. So I don't think we're going to play like we played against Pittsburgh. But I'm just saying, you can't play like you played against Pittsburgh. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. All right, back to the text box. No. 44 Fall says, I didn't mean he didn't have a good game 2 weeks ago. I mean what Ben said. I just think that he will have a field day at Tiger Stadium. No, just, like, coming out party, like, he had a coming out party, in my opinion, 2 weeks ago. But he could have better stats in this game. So it ain't nothing to do with having a good game or not having a good game. Like, he had a good game. He had 100 yards as a receiver, so, and a touchdown. So he had a good game, but the term was coming out party. He had that 2 weeks ago, in my opinion.
I have my own text box question for you from somebody.
Yeah, you know, in the text box. What are you talking about?
It's from my mom, so this counts.
What's up, Mama? Mama McKee.
She would like to know what you are actually going to have for brunch on Saturday. What is going to be on the menu at the Swain household for the game? I know you have some radio obligations in the AM, but are you all going to do it up big for the game? What's the menu going to look like?
Man, you right. It's in the AM, that's for sure. Man, I just thought about that alarm clock going off Saturday. It's just gonna
be up anyways.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably just gonna be me. And I was gonna do just some steak and eggs, something like that. That's what I was gonna do.
Just some steak and eggs.
Yeah.
It's steaks.
One
steak should never be referenced in that manner. There should have been more excitement to have steak, especially that early in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like around the game. Like, it won't be too much before the game because you mentioned those radio obligations, and yeah, I have those. But like, I was thinking like some steak, and some spinach eggs, something like that. That's about it. Nothing special. Not like I'm doing chicken and waffles and all that stuff, man. So. I'm not really eating that right now anyway. So
what's going to be in the keg? It's kegs and eggs. So what's going to be in your keg on Saturday?
No, I ain't gonna be drinking either, man. I've been on my water, man. So I'm gonna be on my water. Yeah.
You don't want to look like a chunky Kane Brown?
Nah, I'm good, man. I've been doing a pretty good job looking like a chunky Jason Swain. I'm trying not to do that. So I'm gonna be
more like a chunky Usher, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that, man. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, man. Probably just steak and eggs, something like that. Something simple. SC Vol says, "Where's Brandon Turnage?" Well, Ben, you mentioned his confidence, and I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more of him this year, considering how he played against South Carolina last year. But hey, hopefully he's able to put it together soon. Wade says it would be great to see Hyatt have a 200-yard game. Oh, yeah, it would be great.
That would be great.
I feel like I need to put something in context, though. Can I do that?
Of course.
Let me put something in context here because I think it's important. So, Tennessee and LSU played in 2001. Tennessee was the 7th-rated team in the country. And Kelly Washington went ballistic. I mean, absolutely ballistic in that game. He had about 200-something yards in that game. And he had, I think, multiple, like, long plays. I remember one play. He was in the slot, and it was a seam. Casey loved throwing them seam routes. And Kelly bent the route a little bit versus 3, a single safety. Casey threw it in there. The safety missed, and it was off to the races. Like, Kelly Washington had 220-something yards that day. So just for a little context, 200 yards for receiving is a lot of yards. A lot of yards. He had 11 catches on that day set. This is September 2020. 2020. Yeah, 2021. He caught 11 passes, set a new single-game Tennessee record with 256 receiving yards. 256. 11 catches. That's video game numbers. But, yeah, I would love to see Hyde. Give me 100 yards from Hyde. Give me 100 from Hyde, 100 from Brew, and we good. All right, let's go back to the phones.
I know Hyatt's going to have 10 catches. That's it. That's his new thing in this offense. 7, 10, 12 catches a game.
Yeah, he gonna get the pill. I want to see more yards after catch and more throws down the football field. I did see him do a really good job catching the ball across the middle against Florida on 3rd down. I was really proud of him with that. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good evening.
Hey, Swain, it's Justin in Florida.
What's up, Justin in Florida? You sound safe, and we are happy.
I'll tell you right now, it was definitely stressful until about Tuesday. Then it started turning south. Unfortunately, Fort Myers and Naples got the worst of it, but that could have easily been St. Pete and Tampa. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, scary stuff, and man, you hate that for the people in Naples and Fort Myers. I lived there for a little bit. Was training for the combine, so man, it's beautiful area there in Naples, and hate that the hurricane did that to that beautiful city and town.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I got to send a congratulations to Ben's boy, Aaron Judge. It pains me as a Red Sox fan to admit it, but he's a classy guy, and I was glad to see him hit number 62, as much as it pains me. So great job to Ben. Wanted to add to this conversation. Everyone keeps talking about the wide receivers, whether it's going to be Brew or Hyatt or Keaton. Tell you right now, the offensive tackles better bring their A game on Saturday, because to hit all those receivers, you're going to need some time to let them get downfield. Those DBs look like they like to creep up and, kind of play closer in the box. I think our guys can get behind them, but only if we can keep that pass rush off a hooker. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, guys like Darnell Wright, this is a game for him to make some money.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and say it's a make or break, but it's a make or break. Like, it's the LSUs, the Georgias, and the Bama games. Like, that's the games that's going to get you paid. I remember when Robert Ayers, and I know it's the other side of the football, but I remember when Robert Ayers was on the defensive line there in 2009, and Robert Ayers got paid off of one game more than any other game, and that was the Bama game. He was killing Alabama. And games like this where the game is kind of determined in the trenches, Darnell Wright could really, really make himself a whole lot of money. Now, there's some players on LSU's defensive line that can make themselves a whole lot of money by going up against a guy like Darnell Wright with NFL talent and winning those matchups too. So somebody going to make some money on Saturday.
Well, I hope it's our guys
Yeah.
that are cashing in because playing in their building, that's the one thing I think can keep LSU in the game is if their pass rush can keep us in second and long, third and long, keep a lot of plays in front of them. I mean, if they let our wide receivers run loose, then yeah, I mean it's a matter of time before they break some and we put points on the board. But that and you've already mentioned it, the special teams cannot afford any block punts and having the field swapped. So,
yep. Hey, there's one guy on LSU's defensive front that he gonna have me nervous. That is B.J. Ojulari, who had 2 sacks and 2 TFLs and a caused fumble against Auburn. He has the speed. He has the array of moves to make life difficult for Hendon Hooker.
Listen,
so we got to make sure we get in front of him.
Every time I hear his name, I cry a little inside because at one point he would have been in orange and white.
He said he was a VFL. He even did the Vol hand sign in the picture. Oh man!
Well, you guys have a good night. I'll be in Baton Rouge. I'm sure arguing with people wearing purple and yellow. So go Vols, and hope we can pull out a win this week.
Do not go to sleep anywhere at a fast food restaurant if Tennessee wins. Okay.
You got it.
All right, my man. Because just saying, from past experiences, the internet said that's a bad idea. Very bad idea. Don't do that. Do not do that. 865-255-03. Appreciate the phone call from Justin in Florida. Glad that he is well. Hate that for all the victims of the hurricane down in Florida. Sucks, man. Absolutely sucks. 865-255-03. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Still sitting on the sidelines trying to figure out how to buy and sell in this complicated market? I get it, and I understand why you're hesitant. That's where I come in. Call me, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. I'm happy to help answer any questions you have, and whether you're ready to rock in 2 weeks or 2 years, I'll be here. Look forward to hearing from you soon, and go Vols!
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Fellas, do you need an annual health exam? I recommend going to Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They will check all of your levels, not just your T level. In most cases, it's completely covered by your health insurance. And if you don't have insurance, it's less than $100 for a full lab panel and office visit with the medical provider to give you a complete health assessment. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy, even verifying your insurance. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your online appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
The conversation doesn't stop when the show is over. Follow the Swain Event on Twitter and like the show on Facebook.
You ready for a score prediction, Ben?
Always ready for a score prediction.
Score predictions, man. So much pressure.
Is it?
Yeah, man. So much pressure. So much pressure. I don't even know if I have one right now. I don't.
Well, who's giving the score prediction?
Well, I asked you if you ready for one. I mean,
I was for me to give one, not listen to yours.
No. I wasn't gonna give you one. I was asking you. You the expert here, not me. I'm just pushing the buttons.
That makes more sense. I'm not a coward like you are. I think Tennessee wins 38-34.
34 points.
Yeah. Did you watch the secondary against Florida?
I watched offense versus Auburn.
Okay. I watched Florida's offense against South Florida the week before. I watched Florida's offense against Kentucky 2 weeks prior. The secondary's not good. It is what it is. Thankfully, Tennessee has an offense that can outscore its opponents. Most of them.
I'll be happy if we win 38-34, but I ain't gonna like it.
I think LSU has more talent in the skill position players on offense than Tennessee's skill position players on defense. Out on the perimeter. Okay. And I think that's going to allow LSU to make some plays. Now, I will say to turn it around and play devil's advocate with my own prediction, I do think that Tennessee's defensive front will win the matchup with LSU's offensive line. I do believe that. I mentioned it earlier. 16 sacks allowed, not all on the O-line, also on Jane Daniels and his lack of confidence to push the ball down the field and be aggressive. He's holding on to the ball a little too long. And I like the idea of that with Byron Young going up against a freshman tackle. And Tyler Barron, if he's truly lined up at defensive end, going up against the other freshman tackle. I think Tennessee's offense or Tennessee's defensive front can win in those instances. And they're also banged up on the interior is LSU. They're the best lineman. Broke his hand, Garrett Dellinger, and started at center to start the season, then moved over to left guard, missed last week because he was recovering from surgery to that broken hand, and he's going to play on Saturday against Tennessee and is in a big cast. But I still like Omari Thomas and all the other defensive tackles that I think have been playing well as a collective unit. So I think the Tennessee defensive front will help out the secondary, and it needs to, quite frankly. So I also would not be surprised if LSU doesn't get to 30 or 34 points, because I do think it's possible that Tennessee's defensive front can win so much that it takes pressure off of the secondary.
Yep. All right, as long as you show your work, man, I'm good.
Look, and you can't make fun of my prediction if you're not even going to give one.
I mean, I ain't got LSU scoring 34 points, though.
Look, Tennessee's winning. That's all that matters.
All right, that's all that matters.
Winning on the road at LSU in a top 25 matchup to set up a top 5 matchup of undefeated Alabama and Tennessee. You sound like some of the fans on Facebook after beating Florida.
Shut up. That's not what I'm trying to say. I just don't see LSU scoring 34. I don't see the game actually being that high scoring, honestly. I think it's gonna be under, but that's just me. That's my feeling right now. I'll have probably a more concrete answer tomorrow.
I don't trust the secondary. Makes me want to throw up.
The other McKee says, I was watching highlights from the 2003 year on Vol Network archive YouTube channel. They don't even say nothing nowhere close to VolQuest. It says Vol Network. Boy, I need hooked on phonics. I have 3 questions and a statement about that season. Number 1, has there ever been a running back that was better at jumping over the offensive line at the goal line than Jabari Davis? Number 2, how many receivers caught passes against Florida? Number 3, how many game balls did Dustin Colquitt get? Seemed like he got one after every game. The statement is Mark Jones was a human highlight reel on offense, defense, and special teams. Correct. Jones was special. Dustin Colquitt got a few game balls for sure, especially in that South Carolina game where we went to overtime. He was big time. How many receivers caught passes against Florida? I don't know. I know James Banks had a big-time Hail Mary reception before the half, and I know there was a freshman receiver that was the leading receiver for Tennessee that day. That's all I know. And no, I have not seen a running back master the art of jumping over the pile at the goal line. Jabari was really good at turning his body and protecting the ball. Some guys hold the ball out there before crossing the goal line. Sometimes the ball gets knocked out. Jabari's really good about turning his body, hitting you with that big old booty. Did y'all see that video online where he was rumbling and stumbling versus Arkansas? I ain't never seen a dude that fast play running back. That big run that fast playing running back. His first 20 yards in his 40-yard dash is Pro Day. Y'all. He was on his way to running a 4.4. He was on his way. The way he came out the blocks, he was going to run a 4.4 that day at Pro Day, but he popped his hamstring midway. And it was like one of the saddest things I've ever seen. It was tough to watch.
That sounds painful.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was like somebody shot him. I think Jabari can laugh about it now, but it was like somebody shot him, and he just fell. He just stumbled over and just fell. Pop! But first 20 yards, it was legendary. Jeffrey Moore says, better give Ace a bite or two of that Saturday brunch. Also, what type of knee injury happened to the LSU quarterback? I don't think it was like a big-time ligament injury or anything like that. I did hear like the phrase.
Bursa sack.
Yeah, there it is. All I know, he tried to slide and almost put a divot in the ground at Auburn. Like, what was that when he hurt it?
I believe so. Yes, because it was a very awkward slide, and according to MayoClinic.org, bursitis is the painful inflammation of small, fluid-filled sacs that cushion the bones, tendons, and muscles near your joints.
So he got achy sacs.
Yeah, his sacs are hurting. He took one to the sacs.
I mean, I would have trouble playing too, man, if my sacs were sore. Well, Jeffrey Morris also says, tell Kane I'll see him at the ballpark on Sunday. Where you going Sunday, Ben?
Tennessee baseball scrimmages Wake Forest.
Oh, yeah. What's going on Sunday? I might have to roll up. I might have to.
Well, they're playing 18 innings, so they'll be there all day.
18 innings.
Yes.
They serving
AKA
popcorn.
2 games.
They serving popcorn, beer.
I don't know if the concession stands will be open. I would assume so.
Come on, man. You can't be playing 18 innings and not having refreshments. Some Gatorade
I'm sure
or
they
something.
will. That's just not my department.
I met Tony Vitello, Florida game.
It took you 6 years to meet him?
Man, it took a while. Yeah, we chopped it up, man. I love Mr. Tony Vitello. So cool.
He's an interesting character.
Yeah. I'm gonna go holler at him. I'm gonna go holler at him. Sunday. All right, you gotta remind me, Ben. Maybe I can remember what you look like. No Fear 28 says we're the only team in the SEC that can win men's SEC championship basketball, baseball, and football till we're not. Can't wait for Saturday. Clint says I want to see Jordan Banks run someone over on a pick 6. I would love to see that too. Chip Payne says, does that mean he has blue sacks? Probably. His sacks are sore. Jaden Daniels' sacks are sore. Sounds pretty painful. Sacks in his legs. Sounds like it's terrible. Second game, he hasn't been able to finish, but I'm sure he'll be just healthy on Saturday, Ben.
He's tiny. it could certainly pop up just like it did in the Pittsburgh game. Tennessee was able to get a lot of hits on the quarterback and help the secondary out, and it led to Keaton Slovis being knocked out of the game. You never wish that a player gets hurt, but it is a sign of positivity for the defense and something that they're doing right. So for Tennessee's sake, it'd be a good thing if they're getting that many hits on them.
Yep. I'm with you, man. I think we see both quarterbacks at LSU at some point. Hard to score 34 points when it happens, but you're right about the defense showing against Florida, man. It's hard to have a lot of confidence in what transpired after what transpired against Florida. But this defense played pretty well against Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh went out after several injuries and got beat by Georgia Tech. So defense got to go prove it this weekend. Got to go prove it. Love it when a team or unit back against the wall and everyone's counting them out and criticizing them. So let's see if the defense can step up, make some plays. 12 p.m. Eastern time. You going to the game, Ben?
I am not.
Oh, what a loser.
Are you going?
Yeah, in spirit. See the difference? Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. My man Ben's always fun rapping and chopping it up with you, talking about Tennessee. And Tennessee 4-0. Let's see if we can go 5-0. Undefeated showdown against Bama. Well, unless Bama lose to Texas A&M this weekend, which we don't see that happening.
I don't think that was going to happen.
I don't see that happening. Y'all have a great evening. Peace and love. We are out.